Facebook in the middle of summertime 2023. Life is good. We got total rock stars on the panel today. Of course, Avery's here, and we've got some extremely experienced hosts in the world of short-term rental vacation rentals. Every one of these folks on the panel today lives and breathes and goes grocery shopping in a vacation town. We know everything there is to know about not getting any cell phone service and getting cut off in traffic constantly, because that's what we do, man. We do vacations homes here at the short-term shop. Feel free to throw your link if you guys want us to go over your listing today. We're also interested in going over some pricing as well. We will do that via your Airbnb or Verbo listings. So if anybody's hanging with us, throw us your listing. Throw a link in the I guess it's a chat, for lack of a better way to put it, on Facebook, and we'll get it in the chat and share screen and go over it. I mean, let's just jump right in. I have one in front of me here that make sure I can share my screen. Yes, I can. Beautiful, beautiful. Let me clean up all this other stuff that you guys don't need to see. Wonder what that could be. And share my screen. All right, cool. We've got a couples retreat. Couples retreat. I'm going to pass this one, since Tim, I know you're in the Smokies. Maybe you'll hang with me on this one. Of course, Avery, she can do whatever she wants around here. Feel free to chime in. If anybody has any comments, raise your hands. We're going to do our best to try and keep this as organized as possible, as we are 5 or 6 folks that like to party. Okay, couples retreat, $1 million views. All right, I like that. This is Alexandria. First thing I see here is $1 million views. Yeah, that's a difficult road to walk down, because if you don't, that using that $1 million word is setting a very high expectation. That being said, her pictures are representing.
Those are pretty good views.
Yes. I like this. I like the $1 million. It's like, hey man, I got the best views in town, and guess what? I hate to tell you, she's probably right. This is a pretty damn good view here. Couples retreat. I guess she's trying to. It's a good way to say, honeymoon cabin, small property. It is a 1-1. No complaints on the headline there for me. Tim, you want to take it from there?
No, I don't hate it either. I mean, if you can squeeze it, if you throw an amenity in there, I kind of like that. But if not, I didn't count the characters. And that's something, you can change these things around all the time, and you should change them around all the time anyway. So, pictures are decent. They're a little bit dark, especially the living room ones. And, the hot tub pictures got shadows and stuff on it. I think the pictures could be a little better. They're not horrible, but they could use a little work.
I think we're nitpicking. I like the pictures, Alexandria. I got to be honest with you. At this point, I feel like you might be showing off a little bit. You got 49 reviews at 4.9. Can't really beat this. I usually look for like a 4.87 minimum. I think personally, for my properties, I like the 4.89 sweet spot. I feel at 991, the pressure's on. But of course, she's got a worth of reviews here, so it would be difficult at ranking, quite a bit anyway. So let's go through pictures. There's 5 pictures. A little redundant here with 2 of basically the same, kind of, I would assume that's the upstairs of that room. And then these 3 are similar. I might spread that out a little bit more. I think maybe this one is, you got 2 hot tub and view pictures. I'd probably ditch this one and that one, quite frankly. You got hot tub and view right there. So top 5 pictures, as you should be well aware of by now, are very important. I am going to pick on your appliances. I just think white appliances are a mistake. This is a very old dishwasher. I understand you buy a new property, you wipe out your down payment money, you wipe out your cash. Okay, appliances are not cheap, but I would definitely be putting these appliances first on my list. And if I had to start with one, it'd be that dishwasher. It looks to me like it's got a dial timer on it. Anyway, Tim, what else do we see? Oh, hold on. Not a lot of pictures I notice here. 13, a little low on the number of pictures, Tim, if you want to keep driving the ship.
I agree. And I agree on the appliances. The white, as soon as you scroll down, the white jumped out at me. The handrails look nice. That's all updated. That's good. I still like that pool table picture. I would brighten them up a little bit myself, run them through Lightroom. You can get Lightroom free or real cheap. But But other than that, the pictures aren't horrible. They just need a little touch up.
Tim, dare I say she may have stolen these from somebody? I hate to say that and incriminate her in public here, but these look to me like maybe they were recycled. And maybe go out and spend a little money on some pictures is
Yeah,
probably a good idea.
looks like a super cool place, and little cabins with a view like that are kind of rare. So I mean, she should be able to home run this thing.
Very good
You
point.
guys, I'm sorry, you guys said 13 is low. What do you guys recommend for people? Number of pictures?
I mean,
Because I know some have like 50. That's just way too much.
yeah, I like 30, somewhere around there. There's different opinions on that. Depends on the size of the property. I think my bigger ones need 50, I think, but the smaller ones, I definitely agree, definitely don't need 50, but 25 to 30 on something like this, I would think.
Yeah, it's such a small property. There's not like bedrooms to highlight here. I think you're probably in the 30 area. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. Airbnb allows as many pictures as you want. Verbo only allows 50. There's some folks out there that are preaching, in the 35 range, and I think that's probably a pretty good number for this little property. And Tim's right. Most of the time you get a piece of dirt like this with this view, monster, a big giant property to really utilize this beautiful lot. So to have such a small property, this property is, again, I think, and I've improved that point. Looks okay. I'm wanting some September by now. 257 on a 1-bedroom in September. Let's look at her July. July is almost booked. 235 in July. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd probably hold out at that price for this small of a property. What do you think, Tim? Any adjustments on the price?
I think that's fine for July. I think it's high for September. And I agree. I'd be trying to get September right now. This small one that far out in July, I wouldn't be worried about it at all because they'll come in. I would think. August and September though, I'd be hammering on, especially the back half of August.
I want these. I'm not going to make a joke. I want these 3 nights filled like tomorrow, and I want the rest of July filled by the 1st of July, which is coming up pretty soon. So maybe actually probably the middle of the first week of July. I want all this gone. August, I don't really care too much. We can let that breathe a little bit as long as the prices aren't too crazy. Because again, very small property, no reason to be that booked that far out. This may be a little high for August. And I agree. I think your September is probably pushing it because September is so difficult to get booked. There is no reason, as we just noticed, her September is the same, if not more, than her August, which is probably Price Labs doing that for her because it is further in advance. Therefore, they're bumping it up a little tiny bit, even though the dates are fairly, comparable as far as desirability. But for me, I'm gonna do my best to blow out the rest of July, like now. Pretty much. No, it's no urgency because again, it is a small property. And then I'm going to go ahead and change my headline or at least change my description to some sort of back to school special to start. I would really like to start seeing some September flow in here. October, no problem at all. No reason to do anything there other than keep your prices pretty high. I'd say they're pretty good for October. Did I say September? October, I would leave that high and not worry about it just yet. October should be very easy to book on this thing. How about her description, Tim?
I would knock a sentence or two out of that very first little bit to move up some of those bullet points, and move them up into the fold so you'd see them a little bit more, and then any of that stuff you can put back down. But I like the way it's all bulleted out. You just can't see it until you open it up. And another thing we talked about in one of these last ones is I've actually exactly what they got going on there. I've started doing 2 columns. So to the right of all those, you can just start another column and double up on it and get twice as many in there.
Yeah, in other words, when this is closed, there he is, Mr. Above the Fold himself. Chuck Kramer has joined us. In other words, I would put the bullet points here, one row and then another row here. You have to try it a few times and check your formatting on both desktop and app because it does take a few tries to get the spacing right to do that. That's a Tim original as far as I know, and it does work great. I did that after a recent call with Tim myself, and we're very happy to be to be doing that. Now let's check her future availability. If you happen to catch a podcast with Tim and I last week on short-term rental management, going to go ahead and plug my show right real quick. Short-term rental management, wherever podcasts are heard, had a great podcast on updating your calendars last Tuesday. And Tim, as you can see here, she's only available 1st of January this year. Tell us what she should do about that and why.
Yeah, the recommendation they gave was to open it as much as you are comfortable with. They alluded to at least a year. But obviously that's at your own comfort level. But yeah, the more you have available, they alluded that it heavily favors you in the algorithm. So, I've got mine set at 12 months and I'm actually getting ready to open it up more. And there's stuff you can do if you want to, just if you do that, make sure your holidays are protected and make sure that, you can set out far out pricing and price labs if you want. But definitely, I like to go in and do some sort of override on the holidays, make sure they're good.
Yes. Alexandria, I don't think it's a mistake on such a small property to only be available until Jan 1. I will say, to me, it is a bit weird to have your January blocked and not your December. I think that December on this property to be probably lucrative with your Christmas being extremely high. January is basically a throwaway month, so there's no reason to not have your January and February available, in my opinion. Keeping MLK and Valentine's in mind, number of nights and price on those two. But otherwise, January and February are so crappy, throwaway months anyway. You might as well have them open just in case. And as Tim alluded to, it should go ahead and help your algorithms. I don't see a whole lot. Again, let's recap real quick. I don't see a whole lot, Alexandria, to work on pricing other than bring that September down and open up your calendar further in advance. That should help as far as your, people knocking on your door. The more dates you have to book, the more eyeballs that will look at your property, the more juices you'll have flowing overall. So I would move the one more thing here on the description, move the bam bams or boom booms, as we call them, move those up above the sentence here. I don't mind the headline at all. I would change that to some sort of September-based headline sooner than later. Anything we missed here? Move on to the next one.
One really quick thing, since you just mentioned changing the headline to start focusing on fall. As soon as you transition to marketing for fall, she needs to get a really good view pick with the fall foliage. She may not have that yet. I don't know how long she's owned, but as soon as she can get a good fall pick, people midsummer are going to start thinking about fall break trips, and that's what they want to see. So you want to have a fall picture midsummer.
I agree. And I don't think you need an entire whole new set of pictures. And here's why, because a lot of stuff in the house is going to change in a year's period of time, right? So if you go back to use last year's fall pictures, it's going to be like a new chair, new couch. But Natalie's absolutely right. If you can get a banging, really popping picture of some fall colors in the view, or even if there is no view, of some trees, etc., that'll help your cause tremendously. Okay, let me
all right,
let me go back to the
different market this time.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
And while he's picking, I will say the fact that you guys are submitting your listings to this tells me that you are like the best of the best in short-term rental hosts, because Luke and I have stayed in 3 Airbnbs in the past probably month and a half. And, we've been, because we deal with all of you in our community every day. We were thinking that like everybody is really good at this, and that's you guys are like the bar setters of the short-term rental industry. It turns out there's still a lot of people who are not doing this well at all. And we stayed in 3 in the past little while. Some of them were really nice properties. They just weren't being well managed, or, one of them was probably a $2 million property, and they wanted to meet us to unlock the door for us. And just, a lot of things that are not really optimizing, not using property management software, pricing tools, or having great pictures, or not disclosing in the listing that the person lives in the house and moves out when you check in. That also happened to us. So kudos to you guys for caring enough about your properties and your investments and people's vacations to do this really well and be on here asking for help. So I think that's awesome of y'all.
I was at an Airbnb Community Leaders Summit this last weekend in Atlanta, and Airbnb paid for the community leaders and ambassadors to go to the conference. And there were 103 of us, and 3 of us had problems with our Airbnbs. Irony.
While you were staying there, you had problems like with the place you're staying.
Yes, yes. 2 of us had to move to hotels because there was like,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, we just went through the same thing. Okay. I'm going to do one more with who am I going to pick, because this is not in any of these lovely folks' markets. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I would like Chuck Kramer to be prepared to do the one. Where did that go? There's one in Disney. So you and Holly, if you don't mind, get ready to do a screen share there. Where did it go? What's the name on this? It's Wade. Pull up Wade's listing. And you and Holly will screen share on that one whenever she gets back. So for right now, we're going to do this one. Where did it go? I'm already got 100 browsers going on here. Okay, here we go. We got a pet friendly in Texas. All right. So anybody feel free to chime in on this one. We don't have a Texas expert on the call today. We will plan to do this again here within a month or so. And we used to do these all the time. We will be bringing these back on a regular basis. And it's great to be here with you on the Short Term Shop Facebook group. So here we go. We are Crystal Beach, Texas. Pet friendly, 5-minute walk to beach, tiki bar and games. I don't mind that headline. Chuck, are you getting that next one ready for a screen share for me, buddy?
I was not.
Yeah, get that Wade listing ready. Screen share for me. I'm going to have you do circle gets a square on that one, and that will
Get
be
to
Chuck.
work, Chuck.
Okay. Yeah, get to work, buddy. But because I saw him, he was looking at this one, getting ready to comment. And I'm like, nope, I need you on that next one. But anyway, headline, anybody, Jan, Alan, what do you see on the headline? Reviews for the ship for me.
I like that you have people in your pictures. I don't usually see people in pictures. I think that's a nice touch, and it says you're family friendly, and I think that's super cool as your first one. I like that. I also like the picture of the beach gear, because that's not always, A, is not always available, and B, if it is available, it's not always shown. So I think that's also nice.
I'm on the fence on the people in the picture, and I know Chuck has an opinion on this. I have heard through the grapevine that it's actually technically not allowed by Airbnb. Chuck, I know I sent you on another task there, but if you want to chime in, I personally think it's a little creepy seeing pictures with the people. I think that's kind of like, oh, look at this used house you're renting. Go ahead, Chuck.
I've actually had a couple conversations with Airbnb over the last 6 or 8 months. The people in there that do their photos, which is most of it is actually inside Airbnb. And they're adamant about this. And it goes back to their original terms of service. If you check it, when you post a picture on Airbnb, they own the rights to use it. You are giving that to them and using it unfettered in any way they want, modified or not. But here's the thing, you cannot give them rights to that person's image that's in the photo. So therefore, you're actually violating their terms of service by putting people in your photos. So that's
unfettered.
But it is cute. That picture is cute. It does make me want to sit there and want to play the giant Jenga. But yeah, you don't want to be violating terms of service.
Right.
Yes, this is very well done. This was a definitely professional, very well done situation here. Unfettered. Avery, I need you to explain that one to me a little later. Let's go
without filter.
With no fetters.
No fetters.
I would rather see in the top 5 pictures a picture of at least a bedroom.
I'd like to have the Cobb salad, no fetters. Okay, here we go. Top 5 pictures here, Jan. You want to me?
Yeah, I mean, I think I like that there's a picture of the beach gear. I don't know that it should be in the first top 5 pictures, but you know, I want to see, as a guest, I want to see what does your bedroom look like, or if you have, you know, decent bathrooms. I would like, I don't know, but I like the whole house picture. I like the balcony picture and the under the house picture. I think the drone shot could wait for later. Although it does show beach proximity, but I don't think it's a fabulous picture.
That's what I was thinking, in proximity.
I like the proximity picture of the 5 of these. If I had to ditch one, I hate to tell you, I think it would be the cute kids. I don't know, for whatever reason. That's just me. Again, listen, hey, if there's any one way to do this, everybody, it wouldn't work. There's a million ways to do this, and that's the beauty of it. So, take what you like and what you don't. We got another lady on the wine drinking here. How many pictures total? 60 something, I believe. 64, maybe a few too many, but how big is it? 4 bed, 2 bath. Yeah, I'd maybe bump that down to 40-ish, give or take. Anybody have any thoughts on the name of the property and or the collage? It seems to happen a lot. I'm not a fan of either of these things. I think the collage is too small because most people are looking on their phone and it's cluttered. I also think that the name, you got to understand you are dealing for the most part with drunk people that are traveling and having fun on vacation, and they're just not that smart. They don't even, what is the Shore thing? Is that the donut shop? It sounds like a bakery or something. So I just think it's too confusing for the average traveler. That's me. I see this constantly. So people are obviously having success. Anybody have any thoughts on the idea, on the name or the collage?
Well, the collage for me goes either way, because if somebody has a collage like this, it does tell me that they care about their listing and their property, that they went to the trouble to have this professionally done. But the downside of the collage is you can't really see the full picture of any of the pictures that are in the collage. So you can't tell if they've got like really cool spaces and you're scrolling on your phone, you kind of lose the ability to see how cool it is by putting it in the collage. And I mean, of course, unless you scroll, but it's just kind of hard I can go either way on it because I get it, but then also it's hard to see.
And again, I think what Avery's referring to there is a lot of times you see this collage as the main picture. And I think that's a total waste. If anything, I do think this host is doing a better job by at least putting the collage a little later. I cut somebody off there. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think that the name of our places are really important to us, but not to the guests. So I don't think that really makes a difference for them.
The only reason I see to do that is to try and get somebody to Google it off platform or something. And even that, it's just not my thing. I would rather have them book it on Airbnb, to be honest, in most cases. But
if you Google Shore thing, you're going to come up with a lot of properties because that's, there's a lot of.
That's true. Probably wouldn't even work in this case because it's a very common name.
Or something else.
Well, it's okay.
But we do get back to that terms of service issue. I mean, and that's why they don't want writing on it either. They don't want any branding. They don't want anything they can't control and that they can't reuse. And they obviously are not going to take that and use it in an ad. So.
Leads me to an point here because it does seem like mostly Airbnbs coming in on the chat. We are here at the Short Term Shop very, very pro Verbo. So just wanted to throw that out there. Seeing a lot of Airbnb today. Nothing wrong with that. But we do want to make it perfectly clear that we are Verbo fans as well. Very nice home here, guys.
Which, look, actually, that's a good point, is to remember Airbnb rearranges your photos depending on what kind of platform you're using to look. So another problem with a collage is it can end up in a collage. So at that point, you're just wasting space.
Yeah. All right. This is an extremely nice home. It's very eye-catching. I'm always preaching very nice washer and dryer, which we have here. I'm not a huge fan of front loaders personally, but these are very nice washer and dryer here. I'm not, and that's because I don't like bending over to get to the water. But hell of a house here.
You have farther to go than most people.
Well, there's that. Yeah. Good location. It looks like we don't have an arrow. I'd like to see an arrow here. I don't know which one it is. I would assume it's this one. I don't know. That's the color. There you go. There's your arrow. I could do without these, local amenity pictures. I think those would probably be the first to go for me. Would be these the Joe's Crab Shack or whatever. All right, Jordan, doing a great job so far. Excellent photos. Description, same thing here. I think we could probably ditch this. Move it to the bottom. I do not like the name of the property first thing in the description. Short Thing Oasis. It sounds like Alvin's Island. What are you selling swimsuits, or are you renting a property? People are just confused. People aren't that smart. I hate to tell you. So I think direct beach access and outdoor space would be over here for me, and then double boom booms is the way to go all the time, in my humble opinion. Let's look at the Chuck. Are you ready to go on that next one? Yes, no?
There he goes. He's on mute.
Yeah. Holly, we got one coming in Orlando next if you're available. Chuck and Holly up next on a Wade property. Literally one he owns. All right, so let's check prices. June's knocked out there, which is good. We're already right here. July's already pretty knocked out. Let's check prices on what is available. Pretty high. That's good. That's good. I mean, if anything, if these dates are available, I want to see that they're high so that I have some wiggle room. You know, I've got no problem dropping this thing to a little lower. Let's do some math. Hey, why not? Let's do some math quick. $406 a night times, let's say, 25 nights. Okay, so Jordan, if you hit these numbers, which I have no reason to believe you have not hit these numbers on all these other nights, if not even higher, I would assume for the 4th of July, probably a lot higher. You're looking at 10 grand a month with no taxes and no fees. In other words, the taxes and fees are on top of that. In other words, if your PITI, again, I'm going to get ridiculed for saying this because there's so many number of people out there. If your PITI is lower than 10 grand on this thing, you're sitting pretty, right? And I got to believe that a 4-bedroom in Texas probably sitting quite a bit lower than 10 grand on your PITI. I'm making numbers up here, guys. Bear with me. You get my point. But a little bit of wiggle room if necessary to get those July knocked out, and I like that. Okay, let's check out August here. Oh, my calendar froze up on me. That'll happen sometimes. Let's check these again here. About the same price for August. I'm going to go a little lower on August. Okay, and I'm going to go a lot lower on September. You're going to see a theme there. I hate to tell you, folks, there's only so many things that you can change here. You know what I mean? It's not like there's just some kind of like secret like that we're hiding from anybody. But we do, hopefully you get some value out of what, oh, wait, hold on. I just got stopped in my own tracks by Jordan here. Look at his September price there, Tim. Look at this September price, half as much as July. He's paying attention. Good job, Jordan. Good job. Still no bookings of September, but he's doing the right thing by getting the price knocked down. And it is probably time pretty soon to do a little September marketing. Let's check his future availability. Again, January 1st. Same thing we said on the last guy. Probably a good idea to get that bumped out at least 12 months in the future. There is a little more work involved in doing that, obviously. You do have to pay more attention to your calendar and future holidays to make sure your prices are where they need to be. Anything else on this one before I turn it over to Mr. Kramer? What did I miss? Nothing? Okay, well then, that being said, I will turn it over to Chuck on a Disney property, which is in Holly's market. So Chuck and Holly, you have the floor.
There we go. New Disney bungalow, minutes to Disney. Good job, Wade. Although I'm not sure about the new part. I mean, it is new, but you're wasting 6 characters here on Airbnb. You've only got first 32 on mobile, 50 altogether. So you're giving up a lot of real estate just for that new word. I'd take that out personally. If you're really interested in putting in there, move it to the end. Same thing here with this, the asterisk around minutes. If you're going to put them there, close up that space a little bit. You probably get some another word or two in here, but you got the most important word. Disney.
They could just capitalize minutes to emphasize it instead of doing the asterisks and save that space.
As a Disney tourist, I think I might rather know how many miles you are. I don't know.
I think I like minutes because Wade has always pointed out that sometimes you can be like
True
10 miles, but you can be on the parkway for 2 hours. So I think minutes for that.
And,
I can tell you as a former resident, we were 4 miles from Disney, but you couldn't get there in less than 30 minutes.
True.
Yep. But this property though, I know I've looked at it in heavy traffic and you're still like 9-10 minutes. I mean, it just happens to be in one of those great locations that the luck of the draw.
Yeah. I think overall time is probably more important than actual mileage.
He does have Disney twice in the title. Do we need it twice?
Yeah, that's true. Good catch.
No. No. So Wade, rework that. I mean, you could probably say, Disney, bungalow minutes from Disney. Still get the same point across. 14 reviews, 5.0. That's excellent. So good job. I moved down here, 8 guests, 3 bedrooms, 6 beds, 3 baths. That always gives me too much to think about, but that's Airbnb. That's not you. Go down here. Excellent. You start off with your boom booms. Glory State Sports, renovated home, minutes to Disney World. If you're minutes to Disney World, let's keep in mind that you're not that far from Universal and SeaWorld. And also, one thing I don't see mentioned enough, Legoland is becoming a bigger and bigger draw. So far for the 6 months of this year, they've passed their guest count for all of last year, which was a big year.
Wow.
So you're going to get people looking for Legoland as well, even though it's, I don't know, I think it's probably about a half hour away.
It is. Yeah, it's about 30 minutes.
Yeah. But let's not ignore the others. What do we got here? Water slides, theme Star Wars retreat, entertainment kit. Honestly, there you probably don't need bullets at the front and back. I find to draw my eye away from the words, but private.
Are there water slides on the property?
In the resort, yes. Does he have pictures of those in there? We didn't look at the pictures yet, right?
We haven't looked at the pictures yet. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because one of the draws is, of course, amenities.
Layouts, right? What we tell you. Lots of bulletish style points, short things. People's eyes will be drawn to what they're interested in. They don't have to read full sentences, paragraphs.
I like the little photos, the little icons.
Yeah, yeah.
Since it's Disney, Disney has all the little
Yep.
characters and stuff. So having the characters in this market is cute.
Yep, and I like his choices here. They kind of draw you to it.
Mm-hmm.
The subtle stars as opposed to the solid stars always seem to get my attention. Maybe I'm different that way. Maybe it's my ADD. I don't know. But it does draw me right to it. Let's go back and look at his photos. We have our collage shot here, as Airbnb likes to refer to it. Even not on this, I find this to be a little bit dark. Could probably lighten it up in Photoshop or Photomator or Pixelmator or something like that. Throw it back up there.
Hardly know her.
Yeah. All right. Cute kids room. You didn't overdo the theming. I like that. One of my favorite characters, Wally. Excellent. Love this setup.
You would love Wally. I'm not surprised to hear that at all.
What does that mean?
I love Wally.
You haven't watched that one yet, Luke. We'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
He's a robot. He's a futuristic robot.
I'll watch it tonight.
A lot
it's been all Mario Brothers at our house lately.
Oh, okay. Mario Brothers, huh?
Yeah, that movie's the new one's surprisingly good.
And the kids are just, it's like over and over, they're in love with it.
All right, I'll have to share something with you after the podcast. So a little something I bought online that you'd like. Boy.
Chuck Kramer went on a date with Luigi in the 70s is what he was going to.
I love the subtlety of the decor here, Wade.
I was just about to say that.
And the geometry, it's this is really nice. And this, I mean, I'm sort of like, I want to walk right through here out onto that patio.
How many pictures total? How many pictures total? I think you got to click on it.
Yeah, I was scrolling through here real quick.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, this is like a family photo album thing. Let's go back. Where do we go here?
76.
Yep, there we go.
That's too many for me. I mean,
yeah, I lose. I mean, they're great photos, but I just
how big is it?
I quit looking.
3 bedrooms.
Yeah, knock it down to 45 tops.
Yeah.
Chuck, is there a way to change that? Like you said, Airbnb does that. Can you, like some of the others we were looking at didn't have all 4 of those. Like some of them only had 3. Like the one in Tennessee, I thought it only had like 3 right there.
No, I don't know of any option in Airbnb that you can change that. It's because it's always going to show the max guest. It's always going to show the bedrooms, baths, and it counts the beds. In fact, the biggest issue I've had over time is it sometimes counts the beds wrong, especially with bunk
Yeah.
beds.
Mhm.
And as an FYI, Airbnb does count a pack and play as a bed. So, okay, let's go down here.
Wait a minute. Are you saying I can put a fourth bedroom on this house? No, not bedroom, bed.
No, but they'll count
Bet.
it, right? If
Yeah.
we add it, they count it.
Yep.
And it would show up. It would show up here on the underneath the entire townhouse hosted by Wade. Well, I guess I just now realized it's a townhouse. It's not a single family.
Right.
So in other words, if he's got a pack and play, it'll go from 5 to 6. Okay.
Or well, 6 beds to
6
7
to 7.
beds.
Right.
So
Would
Or
that
6
be a
to 7.
deterrent though? Would that be a deterrent if somebody's looking at it like 3 bedrooms, 7 beds? I would be like, I don't want to be front. Or am I just weird?
I think it depends. If you're traveling with kids and you're used to, you do much renting at all, you probably expect bunk beds. So I that number wouldn't bother me until I had a look at the rooms. And one of his pictures right
I'm
here.
going to put a new bed. All my properties as a pack and new bed. I'm going to my properties up a bed after this call. I just learned.
There you go.
Brand new property here, Chuck. Not brand new, but 14 reviews if you notice there. So it's rather new. How's he doing on prices?
Oh.
That's Sorry, scrolling too fast here. Oh, let's see how he is at these 2 dates in July.
He's booked.
Yeah.
Because it's minutes to Disney. Okay.
Well,
That's great.
I would book that way.
Me too.
Price. A 3-night stay for under $900, and that includes the Airbnb fee. I think these will go quick. You'll get these booked up really soon based on my experience with the market.
You used to live there, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I lived
Molly
there.
does.
My wife worked at Disney, so former cast member.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you go up
What
to
was
his
it?
amenities just so people can see like what he's added so that they may be missing out on some of theirs? Things that are important to have.
We got a pool view.
Since it's booked, good examples.
You're exactly right. We got a couple of decent views. Of course, there's a pool view. It's right in the backyard. Hot water. That's good to know. And I know there are places that you can rent that don't have it. So. Okay, so when you click this essentials, and you should check on that, Airbnb has made a change to this. Essentials now means not only do you provide these items, but you provide enough for the entire stay. So be careful about that. They have a news article on it on the Airbnb site. Obviously I don't remember the URL off the top of my head, but it is there, and they explain why they expect that.
And how you're saying that people with kids would like the thing also room darkening shade. If you have that, make sure to.
Yeah, especially
you know,
small
that's a
kids.
Mhm.
Even in the Smokies, I once had to send the handyman out with new shades because they couldn't get their 2- and 3-year-olds to sleep.
Yeah.
All right, so we're doing standard cable along with several things here. Good. Okay. Game
Let's
time.
Pricing, if you don't mind, Chuck. Back to the pricing. I'd like to see August and September.
Let's pick a slow period there. Most of the schools are in session here by the 13th, so it drops off after that weekend. You don't get the locals, and most of the Southeast, in fact, is back to school. So actually a little higher. All right. Not bad. Let's see how we are coming up here on Labor Day weekend. Okay. Middle of September. Now, one of the things about the Disney market, especially as Wade is doing here, he's targeting Disney specific travelers, is you got to look at what Disney's event calendar is. It'll also change who who it comes to your area. For instance, in September, you have two big draws in September. You got the Food and Wine Festival at Epcot, which is the largest food and wine festival in the United States. And at that point, you're attracting mostly adults for that. The flip side of that is you have the not so scary Halloween parties that they put on, and they're expanding those this year. So, but they're not every night. So you got to look at the calendar and see what nights those are. And you certainly want to pump those up at least a few dollars. Price Labs isn't going to know that by in and of itself, but it will know by area demand. But if you're closer to Disney, you're going to be more affected by Disney demand than you are Universal demand. I don't know, honestly, how granular Price Labs pricing gets, but that could be important to know if you want to get every dollar you can.
And it's not far from the Buccaneers football season.
That's right.
And the cruises. If they have discount and holiday cruises at that time, people want to stay there. And then just a 40-minute shot over to the cruises, which are really big in Halloween.
Yeah, that's not just the Disney cruises, but there are quite a few people that do a 3 or 4 day cruise and then 3 or 4 days at Disney.
I do want to mention that Wade, although new on this property, has a tremendous review. So bravo on that part. Now, let's speed this up just a little bit. Oh, look, he's got a November booking. Right there, 8 through 11 November.
Yeah,
booked.
nice.
What's his future availability on this one, Chuck?
He's open pretty far out there, which, with Disney kind of.
There you go, 1 year.
Yeah, he's got a floating, I don't know. Is it floating? No. That must be the end of his spring period, and here begins the summer period, I'm guessing. So.
Availability looks good. I like everything on here. Again, I would be doing my best to blow out that September now, because once September is here, it is too late, especially in Disney. Again, Wade showing off a little bit here on this one, and that's okay.
Nice job.
It's beautiful,
job.
Wade.
Very good. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Great job. I do have one 30A, which is where 3 of us are sitting right now, pretty much. Jan's just down the road. Where are we at here?
I'm there right now too.
Oh, you are? Okay, so 4 of us. And you own in the area as well, so 4 of us own in the area. 5, Chuck owns in the area. 5 of us own in this area. Okay. In other words, we probably know what we're doing. Okay, this is Gulf Place.
I can throw a rock and hit this unit right now, like right out my front window.
Yes, this is a condo. A condo in Gulf Place. Cabana is a cute way to say condo. I don't mind the headline at all.
That's the name of the condo building up there.
Oh, it is. Palms,
Place. Yep.
Sandy Palms Cabana. Okay.
Or maybe it's not. That's Caribbean. Just don't listen to me.
Yeah, it's a little confusing. Again, we live here. Avery's literally in this exact community, right? And we're not even sure. So maybe Sandy Palms Cabana might not be the greatest title for somebody coming in from Georgia and has no idea what that means. I mean, furthermore, I think that anybody outside of this tight little area might not even know what Gulf Place is, right? So, which is a little community. It's an HOA, neighborhood, if you will. I'm not crazy about the headline here. I think it's a little too vague, a little too, you got to talk to folks like they're 3 or 4 years old. Brand new property here, only 5 reviews. So she's been around, or Susan, been doing this about a month, give or take. Great looking property. I don't mind any of these first 5. I got no complaints in the first 5.
I don't know about this balcony shot with the palm tree, because you can already see it in the first shot and a little bit of it in the 5th shot. I think that space would be better used.
Okay, I agree with that. It is basically the same picture here, just more zoomed in.
I like the first photo.
I'm confused about the bedrooms because it says 1 bedroom, but I see 2 bedrooms and a bunk room.
1 bed, 2 bed, bunk room.
Yeah, but the listing says 1 bedroom,
1 bedroom.
Yeah.
Is this bed in the living room? Is that a sleeper?
Or maybe. Oh yeah, maybe. No?
It is.
Oh, it
That
is.
it's that couch right
Oh.
there. Boom, boom, boom.
I got it.
And the
beautiful
bunks are in a
sleeper.
hall.
The bunks are in the hall.
Yeah.
This has been remodeled. This is gorgeous. Susan, I don't know if you bought it like this or remodeled it yourself. Either way, beautiful. I've been in a few of these units, and this one is top notch here. You got the nice pine on the ceiling there, and beautiful floors, nice table. You look at those floors. Did a very good job on this.
Yeah.
Not only will that get you more bookings. I was just talking to Tim about this morning, but when you rehab a property to this level, this is pretty nice. Again, I haven't seen it in real life, but you got the black stainless. You got a really super nice faucet here. You got a disposal, etc. Look at that backsplash. When you remodel a place to this level, not only are you going to get more bookings because of it, but your life will be easier. I was just talking to Tim this morning, and I don't even want to put this in the universe, but I'm going to do it anyway. I don't remember the last time I called a handyman. I'm knocking on every piece of wood I can find right now. And it's because all my short terms were remodeled, rehabbed, head to toe in the past 2 years. And when your stuff is newer and nicer, less maintenance, less BS, less basically everything. My life has been so easy the past 2 years. I'd like to keep it that way. So please knock on some wood for me. But Susan, great job all around. And you made your life easier because look at that sink. How cool is that? You know, look at that. Now I would not do the glass. That's me. I'm an anti-glass guy in a rental. But this is way more beautiful than the curtains that I'm putting in my units. Number of pictures seems to be right on par. Yeah, 35. Again, are we showing off again? Can we get somebody who has a listing that stinks? Because it would make our life a lot easier over here. Location's fantastic. You got a great view. You're showing off. If somebody want to pull one up in the chat while I'm yakking, Natalie, maybe if you want one in your market, or if Alan has one that we can pull up and go over one more after this, because again, Susan's showing off. Now, we do have this here again, the Golf Place Cabana's a golf place. Okay, put it in the description. I think it's a lost cause in the headline personally. Again, we got a run-on sentence here. It looks like you're reading a book. The bang bangs and the boom booms seem to be more effective. Look at that calendar again. I told you she's showing off. Can we find somebody that actually needs help on today's call? But September's already got one weekend booked, and it's not the one that's easy to book. So good job on the September. Susan's showing off. Just a couple of little tweaks as far as the headline and possibly the description. I don't want to spend too much time on her because she is just absolutely crushing it. Let's see if we can find somebody that we can actually help here. Does anybody have one they want to suggest? Feel free to put it at the bottom of the chat or text it to me. Or do we have a new market we can look at here?
Yeah, let's not do another one in one of the markets we've already done. There's a bunch. Natalie, did you pick one while he was still talking?
Yeah, I was looking at a Blue Ridge one.
Yep. Can you share screen and go ahead?
Yeah.
If you have it available.
Let's see here.
And this will probably be the last one. We don't want to
I
keep
do want to
everybody
mention
here
while
all the-
she's pulling. Sorry, Avery. While she's pulling that up, if you're mad that we didn't get to you today, the truth is it's the same thing for everybody, right? So just apply everything that we said to other people's because I feel like a lot of times we get folks that are mad that we didn't get to their listing. And it's really not about that. We'd be happy to sit here and do this all day, but I'll be honest with you, it's going to be repetitive at a certain point. So just take what we're teaching on all this on these other folks' properties and apply it to your property. Are you ready for screen share? Do you?
I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty. It's
That's okay. I'll
it's
find
the
it.
one.
I got it.
Okay, it's
Whose
the
name?
one. Emmeline Plant Hunter.
All right, Emily.
I like
believe
that
it's
I like that the
Emily.
ones that we. Sorry.
Oh, got her. I got her.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. What was that, Holly? You like what?
Oh, I like that these, like you said, they don't need help, but it shows that doing it this way actually works.
So far,
Instead
on
of
today's
like,
call,
hey, let's do this.
absolutely.
And then you're like,
Holly.
maybe, but this is like for real, it does. Look.
So far, this has been a what to do with your listing presentation brought to you by Circle Gets a Square, short-term shop. Here's another one. I mean, this one here in Blue Ridge.
Yeah. It's a good
I'm
one.
just glancing at it. It's like, damn, man. I mean, this thing is this thing is a baller. Let's check this thing out and see if we have any complaints at all.
Well, a lot of times the people who submit these, they're eager to be better and to grow, but because they're eager to be better, they've probably already been doing things, right? So I think that's why the example properties are so
Yeah,
good
they care.
already.
Yeah, in other words, somebody who's got a crappy listing and a crappy property is probably not hanging out on this call with
Yeah.
us. Okay, so we're doing the best we can with these gorgeous offerings today, and we appreciate everybody for coming to hang with us.
Yeah.
Who's going to chime in here? We are in Morgantown, Georgia, Blue Ridge, Georgia.
Well, since I'm from North Georgia and it's very similar to the Smokies, I will say their lead picture, I'm not a fan of the lead picture being the outside of your property because it's not the reason why anyone's going to book. This is a gorgeous cabin, but you've got two things. You've got your cabin name and the outside of the property, which people, super cool, but people don't generally care. Guests that are coming don't care. So that's probably a little bit of a waste of your, being your cover photo. But then if you look at the next few, they're getting it right because they're showing, the first 5 being the 5 reasons why I would pick you instead of your neighbor. And so you've got amenities and entertainment. That shot of the fire pit is perfect. If that view pick, yeah, gosh, look at that.
Chuck's gonna say something about the wine here.
About the
I was
wine.
gonna say,
I'm not a wine guy. Yep.
Do the wine, Chuck.
I'm not a fire pit guy either. Go
Well,
ahead, Chuck.
maybe they provide a bottle each time. Who knows?
You know what? I like the wine. I love wine. I love wine maybe a little bit too much, but anything in your pictures, Airbnb's position is, excuse me, that the guest can reasonably expect it there. And of course, giving free wine or giving free alcohol is illegal in many states. So,
yeah. So if you're going to do it, maybe a glass of wine instead of a bottle of wine.
Oh my God, beer on the pool table felt. Oh.
No.
Encouraging guests to do that.
Because not only is that $600 new felt. However, what's the last? Anybody got a price on a new felt lately? It's expensive. It's expensive. But here's the deal. Well, I lost my train of thought. Don't do that. This is not good. That was what it was. Not only is it $700, Avery's laughing at me, so I'm doing something right. She's heard all my jokes. But forget about the money. Think about how the time involved with getting the guy to show up and measure and pick a color. You're talking 2-3 weeks to get this thing swapped out. And that's after they're done being busy with everybody else, So don't encourage this at all. We definitely need a little beer table with some coasters over here. Please do not put beverages of any kind on our pool table. They're going to learn that the hard way.
You can't collect for damages if you put the guest will say, well, you showed me I can put my drinks on here.
Yeah, these are great though.
Oh, we got beer. We got glass by the hot tub too over there.
Yeah, this photographer, I think, just likes
view-
to drink.
The view picture, if you have any kind of a view, a standout view, whether it's a mountain view or a beach, if you're at the beach and you have an ocean view, one of the things I've seen photographers, even professionals do that I pay attention to this, and I've asked my professional photographers to do it a little different, is the height that they set their camera doesn't always show, if you're inside, it doesn't always show how good the view is. But if they would just raise it up a foot, their tripod, you get a better angle of the view. And so, the beach photo that we were looking at last was a good example. You could only see a tiny little sliver of the ocean, where if the camera was just up where you're actually standing, it would show more. So same with the view from the bedroom. It's not in focus on this.
I agree. I think this photographer likes to drink, and I think he's got an assistant named Johnny, and he's walking around. Johnny, pour another. I need a beer for this picture over here, and then he's walking around drinking them behind himself.
Because it looks like there's a view, and I just can't quite tell enough to fall in love with it.
This house is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
Appliances are top notch. These are KitchenAid Cafe collection, if I'm correct on my appliances. These are not cheap. They're not easy to get a hold of either, especially in the cool colors like that. Gorgeous, showing off home. If this calendar's not booked, I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be sad.
Awesome.
Look at this thing.
I love this room.
Good use of space.
If anybody's watching, this is what you're looking for.
Yep.
Make your house look like this. How many pictures? 61. A couple too many, but I mean, I don't know what this is. Avery, is this over my head? I don't even know how to pronounce that. What is that?
That's what I didn't know.
Lodgin.
Lodgin?
Lodgin.
Oh, those are eyes?
Lodgify? Either way, get rid of it.
I don't like, they have so many great other pictures. I wouldn't even.
Yeah.
Not gonna work here
Use
anymore.
that one.
I
Yeah.
also think the overall, these 5 pictures overall, the whole image is dark, like all these pictures together, too dark.
They have a lot of great photos later that are way better than these, in my opinion.
Yeah. And then their headlines, summer vacay, unnecessary. Everyone, if they're booking a summer vacay, they know, if you're doing some kind of a sale or a deal, then maybe put something there if that's what you were doing. I also don't necessarily know that how many you sleep. So if people are bringing up to 14 people, then they put that number in, and that's why you showed up. Putting that wasting space in your headline on that, I don't know that is necessary. So
I figured it out.
The things that
Sorry.
I would put would be things that, are the reasons why I would put view. Fire pit, view, air hockey, foosball, those words.
It's Lodge Noir. So in other words, let's make this picture bigger. See?
Oh, that's why it's so dark.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
That's
All right.
Okay, well, we're
That's
idiots.
great.
We spent
Emily
5
and
minutes.
but-
Ryan?
All we had to
but
do is
that's what
expand
it
the
shows.
picture.
Well,
No,
here's
but
the deal.
that's what people
there's
really
a-
see.
It's a ridiculous amount of education on this call. Just to my wife alone, and not to mention Natalie was a teacher for many years. Everybody on this call is above average intelligence, and it just took us 14 minutes to figure that out. So if that tells you anything, I think I ditched the name. The
Not to mention,
description.
it's a lesson that pictures aren't always going to show up the way you may expect. You have
Yeah.
to check.
That's right.
Not that, listen, Emmeline and Ryan, I feel like you probably sat around and thought this thing out and really planned it out and sketched it out. And I love it. I love your vision.
Mhm.
The problem is if you got to sit there and explain it to somebody, it's going to be on deaf ears, right? So just let the property do its own speaking with the pictures and forget about the branding. That's what I would do personally.
All that
what do
stuff
we
is
have here?
great for your Instagram page.
Instagram. Absolutely. What are we doing here? Tim, anybody want to comment on the description?
I see a movie den down there. I don't know if I saw the picture, but that makes me excited. I love movies. So it's, yeah.
First 5 pictures. I want to see a picture of that.
I agree.
And same thing we've said on everything else. Move your bullets up and your sentences down. Paragraphs
Well,
down.
Yeah. Also, you have the space, and then you have all the places that it's not the space.
Yeah, this should be under the neighborhood.
Yeah, more bullet points, less sentences. It took me a while to get on board with that too, because I'm a former teacher and I'm wordy. I'm very wordy. And
It looked like the reviews were in the description. Did they put reviews in the description? Aren't the reviews below?
oh yeah.
That's probably a waste for me. I think this is way too much, too long, didn't read. I mean, they can go read the reviews if they want. We're splitting hairs a little bit, and I'm happy to say I was very
Well,
nervous,
everybody's
quite frankly.
listings that they've submitted are so good that we have to
Hold
split
on.
hairs because there's no glaring
Yes.
errors on any of them.
Emmeline and Ryan, I got to be honest, I was very nervous to click
It's
on your calendar.
Emmeline. She has corrected
Emmeline.
you multiple times and it's really driving me
Sorry.
nuts. Sorry.
Emily, I was very nervous to click on your calendar because I'm thinking to myself, if this thing's not booked, what are we going to do? What are the rest of us going to do? Because this thing is killer. And I'm happy to report that you are booked. So good job. Your July's full, your June's full. You got like 1 week here in July, again, at a high rate. So if you do the math, it's very similar to that math we did a little while ago. 25 nights at that rate is going to be around $9,500 for the month. Let's check further dates here. August is empty as to be expected, and I would imagine these prices are, again, yes, they're basically the same as July. To me, in a mountain market like this, August is not worth the same amount as July. And it's okay because August is a little further away. August will fill up. No reason to go crazy low on the August right now. I think right now, as stated previously, the September is more important. And again, pretty close to this price as your July. I'm knocking that down. I'm going to go on a 5-bed, 3-bath. We don't have a square footage here, but this is a very nice home. I'm totally cool to knock this September to $299 for right now. That's just me. I do $299 with a 2-night min and 1-night min on any gaps. I would also raise my rates on the 1-night gaps. Tim, this is something we talked about the other day. I'm going to actually turn this over to you here in just a second. If you get any 1-night gaps, drop them to 1-night min, but raise the rates on 1-night orphans on Price Labs because that will make the date available, but put it high enough, almost like the $4,000 method. Put it high enough that, nobody's really going to book it. And if they do book it for 1 night, who gives a crap? I'm doing that on all my larger properties right now. Tim, do you want to explain that a little further?
Yeah, that's just something that came out of the Airbnb meeting we had the other week. They were in Gatlinburg and kind of came to help us, do better. And so being available was one of their big things. And they said it's better to have the calendar open and available and at a higher price if you need to. Like you just said, if you're not comfortable with a 1-night stay, make it expensive to where it likely won't book. But having those nights open and available. So I did all in Price Labs to where basically it opens up all my orphans to a 1-night availability. Everything else is, it's either 2 or 3. I have a little bit of custom setting on that to where it's 3 until it gets closer, then it turns to 2. And then it opens up to 1 if it's there. And nobody's booking them, but they're open and available. And that's the important part. Same thing with the far out stuff. When it's really far out, it's not about booking way far out. It's having your calendar available, and it just helps you move you up in the algorithm.
Yes, which is a mistake they're making here. Is it Emmeline? Sorry, Avery. You got to open your calendar.
I wouldn't correct you, but she's corrected you in person a couple of times. So
well,
probably about time to start saying it right.
Anything. I do apologize. You're lovely, and your house is just gorgeous. This is a mistake here. We got to get this October in the future opened up. It's going to really help your overall algorithms having more availability. Basically, exactly what Tim was just talking about, but more big picture, big giant chunks of calendar open versus the little 1 night being open. If the 1 night being open helps, you can imagine how much 1 month being open will help. So go ahead, Ryan, and go get this thing open further in the future. I would like to see at least 12 months. I feel bad for not having one on here that sucked today. Everybody was way above and beyond. We will do this again in about 2 weeks. And feel free to post your property anytime. Short-term strlistingadvice.com, short-term rental listing advice on Facebook. That's strlistingadvice.com. I'll plug my Facebook or my podcast again. I'll turn it over to Avery. Short-term rental management. Please check out my podcast anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Avery, would you like to say goodbye to the lovely folks?
All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you for submitting your properties. Everybody had really awesome ones. So we had to get really, really nitpicky because everybody had such great ones. So we'll do this again and look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much for spending your lunch hour with us. Most important hour of your workday. And hopefully we'll see you again in a couple weeks. Thanks, guys.